But we also love Maria Canabal because she's a dear friend, but she might also be a pain in the ass. And she has been in for many, many years. You remember some years ago, there was one voice saying, hey guys, what you are doing, hey guys, hey boys, what you are doing just by yourself, how come your food congress or your food something or your whatever meeting, gathering is only composed by boys? Where are the chicks, where are the girls, where are we? And she has been doing and repeating it, and she has been breaking some balls. But not only that, she started when that was not fashionable. We are talking, how many years ago, Maria? 7 years ago? 8 years ago, she started Parabere, which is a forum gathering all sorts of chefs, all sorts of women chefs from all over the world. It's a place where they can discuss, where they can share solutions, problems, ideas, etc. And from a tiny little niche thing, a congress just for women, what the fuck is that? Most of the people said. Now it has become one really of the most intriguing, most well-recognized, good doing thing, no? I would say so. Some of you might have already attended Parabere, and it's going on stronger than before, even if, that's my personal opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, even if maybe today it might be even more difficult for Maria and her team to run a Parabere FORUM, because let's look at a few years ago, I don't know, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, it was very well recognized to support women's rights. If you supported diversity, you might have been able to sell more of your stuff as sponsors, that sort of stuff. If you claimed I'm so much into diversity, you might have sold more copies of your book, of your guides, of your coffee, whatever. Nowadays, other minorities have been taken into account, and so maybe women's rights might become, in the eyes of the brands, in the eyes of the powerful, maybe less market-oriented. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's the truth? Oh, fuck. Anyway, it's with a great pleasure that I would like to invite on stage Maria Canabal for the last speech of this morning before the well-deserved lunch break. It's a speech that everybody is waiting for. It will be about archaeology. How do you call the science of the dinosaurs?
I don't know. It's about dinosaurs for sure.
Oh, let's discover new science. Please welcome... Paleontology. That's the good one. Merci. Please welcome our paleontologist-in-chief, Maria Canabal.
Thank you. First of all, on thème Colombo. So, I know how complicated it is to put a conference in these times. So thank you for what you have done, because I know it's very, very difficult. We are so happy to be here all together. I'm personally really honored to be in Ljubljana with you all. So my topic today is talking about driving gender balance in kitchens as a paleontologist. And the presentation name is Yannicko-REX, like Tyrannosaurus Rex. I have here 2 sentences. So the first one says, women have become so powerful that our independence is compromised inside our homes, that it is ridiculed and trampled on this public. And then we have another sentence who says, I regret it, but there are structural issues. A lot of women ask us to work at noon because in the evening they have to take care of the children. We men, we are lucky. The DNA of women is to give birth. So the first sentence is from Caton the Elder. He was a senator in Rome, and he said this in the 195 before our era, because women wanted to drive a char in Rome, in the ancient Rome. And the second one was said by Yannicko-REX, who is a cook, 2 years ago, about women in professional kitchens. So unfortunately, we are still in the era of the dinosaurs. Before starting, I would like to make a little bit of history. Who knows this lady? C'est la mère Brasier, absolument. So this is Eugénie Brasier, and I would like to put this picture talking about history, because actually she is the first chef ever, not the first female chef, the first chef ever that got 3 Michelin stars twice, and this was in 1933 in Lyon. So I wanted just to show this picture, because we listen more and more that women in professional kitchens is a recent phenomenon, and this is not true. What we're going to see in this presentation, we're going to be together like 20 minutes, and I really hope at the end of the presentation you will feel empowered to take action. So now we're going to see where we are today. If we think about women in cooking at home, 93% of cooking home is done by women in France. When we think about culinary schools, it's a very good percentage. 48% of graduates are young ladies. When we think about cooks, it's good also. This is in the UK, is 39%. But then when we think about chefs, drops dramatically. So the glass ceiling effect that we see in our industry is also in other industries, but especially in the cuisine world. And now you must be thinking, why we're talking about gender? Because we are saying the percentage of cuisine, who is cooking, and finally, well, talent has no gender. And we totally agree. Talent has no gender. But there is a very important question for our industry. The question is, are we wired to identify the talent when it comes in a feminine shape? Or are we much more wired to identify the talent when it comes in a masculine shape? Because, you know, talent comes in many, many different shapes. So this is the gender pay gap. So gender pay gap is when a woman and a man for the same job, they don't get the same salary. And this is in the States. In average, women and men working in hospitality, the gender pay gap is 28%. This is women in events. So Taste of Paris is 5%, Madrid Fusion is 7%, Omnivore 14%, and MAD 50%. So representativity matters. And it's maybe not a coincidence that MAD is one of the most influenced conferences in the world. And now when we see women in jury, this is one of the most prestigious competitions in the world. Oui, je sais. This is one of the most prestigious competitions in the world, and women in the jury is very important to be in juries, because it's a role model for other women also. And also to show that it's not only men who is able to decide if food is good or not. So this is women in juries. This is women in awards. So Michelin Guide 2020, 3%. The magazine called 100 Chef is 4%. The World's 50 Best, 8%. And the last year, it was not James Beard Award ceremony, but the year before it was quite good, was 25%. And if we think about media, if you type on Google famous chefs, you get this or this. So women are in media, but unfortunately they are portrayed in very special reportage or very special articles only about women, when in fact we should be all together. So if we look at the picture today, women get 28% less salary for the same job. They have no recognition in media. They have no recognition from festivals. They have no recognition from the awards. So I think we shouldn't be surprised they don't come into this industry. So how we got here is very interesting to understand, because this gives us the keys for acting after, right? So there is many reasons. One of the reasons is the militarized kitchen culture. So in France, we haven't invented the gastronomy, but we have codified the gastronomy. And the one who codified the gastronomy is Escoffier. So he took as a model the militaries. So this is why we use military words. For example, we say a brigade, which is very military. And when it's noon, we say is le coup de feu. It's a very military word. And a kitchen is based on hierarchy, on commandment, and in power. And this is very, very masculine values. Of course, not all men have masculine values, and not all women have feminine values. But the study shows that feminine values are empathy and collaboration. So if you are a man, or if you are a woman, and your values are empathy and collaboration, a kitchen is not the most comfortable place for you. So you have two solutions. Either you don't go, either you act the whole day as someone that you are not. You act as a man. And this is exhausting, so at the end you quit. The second reason is the boys' club mentality. So this is referring to the way boys act. They are friends together, they relate to each other together, they hang around together, they make jokes together, they promote together. And it's very rare that they invite women to the club. And when they are invited, they are not really part of the dance. Nobody take them for dance. And the last thing is the ordinary sexism. So I'm not going to talk now, because it will be a totally different presentation about rape, which is a crime, or abuse, which is extremely, extremely serious. But ordinary sexism happens everywhere. Sometimes comes from the chef, sometimes comes from the co-workers, sometimes even comes from the customer. And you know, to expect from a woman that she should work harder because she needs to show that she deserves to be there, this is already sexism. This is, oh, it's not very clear. I think okay, this is the charge for abuse in the States. So unfortunately, our industry is the industry where is the most charged for abusing, for harassment, or for rape. And the question is why? The question is because it's a tip industry. So I'm going to tip you, so I'm going to touch you. And this is because in the slide before is all together, is stock, accommodation, and food. And in this slide, you see 50% of abuse come from restaurants. And then you see all the charts in other fields of hospitality. Now we're going to talk to stereotypes, and we're going to get back to the dinosaur, to the Yannicko-REX. So it's very interesting because we did a survey in Parabere, and we asked male chefs why there are so little women in fine dining, and we also asked women. So 99% of men said what Yannick said. They answer. There is very little women in haute cuisine for two reasons. So, in fact, they say three reasons. They say it's too demanding, it's too tough for women. And third, they have kids. And when we got the answers from the ladies, we got not paid, we have no recognition, and we get abused. So maybe we should just stop listening to stereotypes and to start to listen more women. And I'm going to deconstruct now these two things that is very, very rooted, that women are not in this industry because it's too tough and it's too demanding. Well, yes, it is demanding. It is very demanding. But it's demanding for both, not only for women. The difference comes when in many societies we expect from women that in addition of the job, you should take care of the children and the house. And this is very complicated. If you are a woman or if you are a man, and if you have a very demanding job, if you don't have a partner that supports you, this is not going to happen. So it's demanding, yes, but for both. And then physically, it's too tough for women. Well, I would like to talk about very feminine professions, like, for example, nurses. Nurses, they work in retirement houses. They are lifting bodies, so it's very tough. For example, when you think about the hairdressers, they are the whole day standing with the hair. Or agriculture. Agriculture is a tough work, and there is a lot of women in agriculture. So please stop giving good conscience for justifying that there is no women because it's too tough and too demanding. So why we need to change? For many reasons. I'm going to focus on three. The first one is we need to attract talent. We heard before from Andrea, he said that Colombo, the staff is gone. Unfortunately, it's not only for Colombo, it's for many, many, many restaurants. Currently, I need all restaurants are looking for staff. So this is one quote that I got from The Independent, that this is an amount of chefs that we will need only in UK for 2022. And what we need to understand is that there is a huge pool of talent who is there, who are women, and we need to attract them. So we have a lot of advantage to change in order to attract all this pool of talent who is there. The second thing is retaining talent. So this is from FSR magazine. So depending on the salaries of the people, right? But to replace people costs between 20 and 200% of the annual fee. And what we have seen in many, many studies is that when you have gender-balanced teams, when you have diverse teams, the atmosphere is much more better, more transparency, and people don't leave. So this is very important, that you can retain your talent at home. And the third reason is innovation, especially thinking about haute cuisine. Now people, they don't go to restaurants for eating, they go for experience. So you need more and more creativity all the time. And again, this is all studies shows, I have all the sources, if you want after, that gender-balanced teams are 40% more creative. So what can you do? Sorry, I'm in the last part of the presentation, because it's very interesting to say what is wrong. This is important to put the big elephant in the room. But it's very important also to say what we can do all together for changing this. So there is many, many different things to do. I'm going to focus again only on three. So the first is to create an inclusive environment. So it can be really little things like, for example, try to eliminate gender payback. This is very rare, honestly. After 25 years in this industry, I can tell you this is very rare that there is no gender payback in restaurants. And if you don't have gender payback, this is so, you should communicate internally and you should communicate externally, because it doesn't happen very often. The second thing is, as a chef or as a restaurateur, you should be aware that these kind of things happens. We're talking about sexism, ordinary sexism. So you should be a role model and to don't accept and to be monitoring all the time behaviors and to don't accept these kind of things. Then things like uniforms for design for ladies, we don't have the same body, and rooms adapted also. This is a chef that we love a lot, and now he closed the Modern Pantry from London. Anna Hansen, she's from New Zealand, but working in London since many years. And well, what she says is that girls get harassed, and this is something that all experts can confirm. A place where there is a lot of men is always a risky place for women, and this should change, and we change through education. The second thing is that we need to promote work-life integration. In the answers from the dinosaurs, we saw before that they say that women don't come to haute cuisine because children. Well, the thing is that we have the millennials, and many couples of millennials have decided that they are going to raise their children together. So this problem of the family now is also a problem for young men. We can't change the time when people is going to come for lunch or for dinner. Everybody's going to pop up at 7. This is not, we can't change it. But we still can accommodate to real life. There is many different ways to do it, 2 shifts. And if we want to retain and to attract talent also, we need to change our mind. Sometimes we want a sommelier who is going to work 7 on 7 and that's all. And we are not having someone, for example, who can work only 3 days per week, when in fact we are losing talent also because of this. This is a nice quote from Alice Waters from Chez Panisse in the San Francisco Bay Area. And yes, we need to accommodate to real life. And then we need to support female talent. And this is very important. When you are invited to a conference, one of the first things I do is to say thank you for the invitation. And the second thing I do is, who are the other female speakers? Always. And when they say, oh, but we don't know, I always recommend wonderful ladies from all over the world. So it's very important, if you are a man or if you are a woman, to recommend your female colleagues. It's not only on women, it's on all of us. And you can recommend sommeliers or farmers or producers if you know them. So this is making an effort for bringing women to conferences, roundtables, debates. Looking for diverse candidates. This is related to what I told you before. Sometimes when we are looking for people for night shift and we get the curriculums and it's a women, we just put like this. No, meet everybody. And you will see that when you really meet everybody and you really have conversation with everybody, you will see the results with much more diversity in your restaurants or bars or in your business. And then to practice the reverse mentoring with female talents. This is something that we like a lot because one of the beautiful things in our industry is that what we call in French, la transmission du geste. So it's you have a master who teach you and who transmits you the love of the cuisine and they show you the skills, right? So the same way that this is the mentoring, the reverse mentoring is when you learn from new generations and when you learn from your young girls how it gets to get a more inclusive environment. I think I still have 5 minutes. I'm going to talk you very fast about what we do at Parabere, because as Andrea told you in the introduction, we born 8 years ago, and we are a non-for-profit. And what we do is to promote diversity, inclusion, and gender equality. And I got this in my room when I landed yesterday in Ljubljana. And this is a beautiful brochure with a very nice content that I read yesterday. And I love very much the cover because it's written, my way of testing diversity. And diversity is not only for ingredients. Diversity is all you have inside, also for people. This we need to update it because actually we are a network of 8,000 women from 60 different countries. This is where we are all over the world. We are not only about chefs. It's all the food industry, bakers, bartenders, academic scientists, food anthropologists, paleontologists. We have a database. This is very important. It's for free. So this database lists more than 8,000 women from 60 different countries. So there is no more excuses for say, oh, we call for women, and we call for women and they are not available. This is why there is not women in the conference. Okay, we have 8,000. We think one is available to come to your conference. This is the Parabere Essays. So this is a collection of books. We launched this book 2 years ago, and we are launching a new one next year. This is the Parabere Gourmet City app, and this we are very proud because it's, you can download it. It's complimentary, and it has been awarded best food app in the world. And what we do is that in all these cities, we have listed the bars, the restaurants, the food shops, the bakeries, and all these places are either led by women, either owned by women. So we promote female talent and female entrepreneurship. So use it in your next destination. And this is the Parabere Care Award. And we love it very much. The most important word there is care, because when we go to a restaurant and we have an experience and we are pampered by the chef, by the staff, at the front of the house, but the question is who take care of them. So we want to focus on positive, and the Parabere Care Awards highlights individuals or organizations that are really working on work-life integration. Well, this is the forum. It's more pictures from the forum. And there's, the next one is going to be Mallorca. So it's 6 and 7 of March 2022. You are all absolutely welcome. It's not only for women, it's for everybody. Remember, we work for inclusion. This is how Parabere is today. And the very last is that a quote that we like really a lot from Eleanor Roosevelt is that a woman is like a tea bag. You never know how strong she is until you put her in hot water. Thank you very much. I don't know if there is questions.
Of course, I love the Eleanor Roosevelt quote, the tea bag. That's pure genius. I suppose you have plenty of things to ask to Maria Canabal or to yourself. No? That's the time. Who wants to raise his hand?
Hi, I'm Rashmi Uday Singh. I've flown in from Mumbai specially, because of wanting to be here. So my question to you is this: what you're actually trying to do is change the whole attitude and perceptions of the society itself. It's a very big question. I mean, what you're trying to do. So do you have any solutions? I mean, what you're doing is brilliant, but like say in India, for example, the biggest employer of women is the government of India. Is the government of India.
Sorry, thank you.
So I worked there for 15 years in the Indian Revenue Service before I started writing about food, after training as a journalist. And I know that we have great gender parity. There was absolutely no discrimination. I resigned as a commissioner of tax. And there was great respect for women as well. So do you see any solution at the government level of making it mandatory or for employing women a certain ratio or anything? Do you see that as a solution? Because what you're doing is brilliant, but I think it goes deep into as you said, into the dinosaur brain of ours. So it's great. I mean, it's fabulous. So, but thank you. It is really, really amazing what you put together. Thank you and what you're doing. A big hand for her, please. It's really amazing from all of us.
Thank you. Well, I think your question can be related to quota of women, la quota rosa in Italia, or the pink, And this is a very important topic because very often women say, I don't want quotas, I want to be chosen by myself, not because I'm a woman. So it's a very big debate on this. I always put an example of one of my first books I wrote. I wrote a book about cognac. So cognac in Charente, south of France, when is a distillation, and when the alcohol come out from the alembic, is 100 degrees. It's pure alcohol, right? And in France, for being sold as a spirit, it needs to be between 40 and 43, not more. And actually, cognac in Charente is the evaporation, because of the weather conditions, the evaporation is 1 degree per year. So if you are 100 degrees and you need to reach 40 degrees, you need to wait 60 years. And it's, of course, a lot of money to have all this cognac stored, you know, not selling. So what they do is that they put water, you know. And so cognac is cut with water in order to get the legal degrees. And I always make this comparison with people who say, oh, this is going to happen naturally. No, this is not going to happen naturally, okay? No, this is why we are where we are. It's not going to happen. You shouldn't forget that historically, the group who has the power, they don't want to lose it. They share it, okay? So if we don't put a law that make totally illegal to don't have a parity, this is not going to happen. So yes, we need quotas. Absolutely, we need it. I am a woman since more than 50 years now, and I think it's important that we should be in our side. And also, one of the sentences that I hate the most in the world, is, oh, we are not going to take a woman because it's a woman. I think it's awful for two reasons. The first is that when you say this, you consider that there is not women of value. This is the first thing. When in fact, the 55% of women had a degree. So women, we are much more educated than men. So to say this, we are not going to take a woman is because, just because it's a woman is a very, very big mistake. Because actually the sentence should be, we're not going to take a man because it's a man, because they are less educated than we are. So we should stop this, really, to repeating this like a mantra. I don't know if it's a good answer for you, but...
Thank you, that is great. The thing is, it's not that we don't love men. I mean, they're amazing. They're fabulous. But I also think men love us more than we love them, basically. And they can't do without us. And they, you know, that's the thing. And that's what leads to a whole lot of other things. So absolutely agree with you. Thank you. It was awesome. Thank you.
What you say is very important. You know, it's not because you support female talent and that you support female entrepreneurship that you are against men.
No.
I adore men.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as they continue to be chivalrous and gallant, we absolutely support them, and romantic. But a lot of times they're not.
Anyone raising his hand? Anna. Speak up, Anna.
Hey, Maria.
Hello.
So beautiful to see you here.
I'm very happy to see you, and thank you.
So I would like to do a statement and then maybe anyway drop you a ball, because I'm still confused a little bit. So first of all, in Hisha Franco, main positions are covered by girls. And not because I'm a girl, but because they're really incredible. So my pastry chef is a girl. The baker is a girl. The sous chef is a girl. The main sommelier is a girl. Maybe Slovenia is a little bit a country where women do have power. Let's say the director of the milkery is a girl. The director of school is a girl. I think we also have a lot of female ministers. So I really believe in girls' power. But in the outside world, you know, I'm not a beginner in this business. But you know, it still happens that I'm one of the girls who go for conferences, who is invited to conferences. I always emphasize, you know, my femininity, because I think it's important. Because I'm not a man, I am a girl, I do makeup, I wear lipstick, and I think it's beautiful. But still it happens that in the outside world, like this pink quote, or quota rosa, is a little bit disturbing in a way. So many times I'm told, but even by journalists, like, oh, but of course you are here because we need to cover the pink quote. And, you know, it happened to me in Cook It Raw in Poland, that one famous journalist. And my course was actually really good, because I was told later that between all men, my course was a good one. So at the end, the party started, and you know, we were all dancing. And the journalist came to me, and he was like, "Wow, you should rather dance than cook." And I was thinking, like, what? And the journalist, many years ago, later came to the restaurant, as a lot of other journalists and a lot of chefs coming to see our work, and he said, as everybody else said, what a surprise. I didn't have expectations. And I'm like, but why? I mean, we got 2 stars from scratch, but we are at this moment on the list of 50 best on the 21st place. Why don't you have expectations when you come to Hisha Franco? Because I'm a girl? Because you think that this quota rosa is just given to me as a gift? Well, I provoke you now.
No, but you know morons. You have morons everywhere, even among the journalists, right? So this is just because of stereotypes. We were talking before about it, and I totally agree with you. I also put makeup and I also dress like a girl because I'm a girl. I think femininity is also a value, but because we have seen before in the kitchens, it's a militarized world. Is for men, designed by men for men. So you should act like a man if you want to be part of the group. And this is also a part of, sometimes we are guilty also, women, because we want so much to be part of the tribu, so much to be loved, and so much to be accepted that we hang out like a man. I'm not a man. And concerning the people who say you are here because you are a woman, I totally happens very often to me. When I start Parabere, we were talking yesterday with Nikolai at the restaurant. It was actually the time when I divorced from my ex-husband. And some people asked me, did you realize that you are a lesbian? No, I'm not. So you see, it's these kind of things. They call when they tell me you are a feminist, so you are hysteric. And I say, no, I'm not hysterical, I'm historical, which is really different of hysterical, you know. And if they think it's bad because they didn't have expectations because women, you know, in cover it with caporetto, what is this, you know? Okay, there is ignorant people everywhere. And I'm sure that I'm not a quota rosa. I know my value, and not only because of degrees, not only because of this. So, yeah, we need to change. We're talking about education before. You should think that we are in patriarchy. Is 20 centuries of patriarchy, is very rooted. And even my husband, who is an Scandinavian, he was telling me at home, shall I help you? I said, no, darling, you are not helping me. You are doing your part, because it's also your house, you know. But even him was telling to me, shall I help you? No, you don't help. So it's, we need more education, and stereotypes are very, very, very deep rooted. Yeah.
May I ask something, guys? I don't know about pink quotas, unless the pink quota is also open for boys. I don't know about this quota thing. What I know is it's important to state, to promote diversity, inclusivity, blah, blah, for sure. Maybe what I do not like is when it's stated, when it becomes part of the program, when it becomes the headline. We are doing this for the better of good, whatever. I wanted to ask Anna, and maybe it could be interesting. Do you remember that little thing that we did now 4 years ago in Austria at the end of August, when we deliberately had to invite 28 chefs? So we said, okay, let's be playful with quotas. So we said, let's have 5 or 6 Austrian chefs. Then have 5 founding fathers of the Gialinas, the organization that we are talking about. And we were kind of a little bit of 10. And then let's have more girls, more chefs that we like from all over the world. Most chefs that we like. And of course, we looked at girls, because there are a bunch full of female chefs. It's a horrible expression that we like, but there are also plenty of female chefs. I don't give a fuck about it, because they are not interesting chefs. So let's never blur the difference. Let's go into promote diversity and promote also not mediocrity, but creative minds. And we end up with having more girls than dudes. We witnessed the way Colombe St. Pierre and Mei Chao shut the mouth at David Chang that was doing the bully. Look at me, we do it this way. No way, David, and they did it their own way. But the question to Anna, the majority, or this slightly more important number of girls compared to the boys, did it modify something, especially not only in the relationship, hanging out, drinking beers, talking late at night, but in the process of creation of what you did at this event?
Okay, it wasn't so romantic as you think. Because in every single group that was mixed between men and women, there was a huge fight. And
that's interesting.
but it was really a huge fight, because I won't go with names, but like the group I was helping with was a man automatically wanted to lead. Automatically, they wanted to lead, even if there were strong girls.
The old man or the young man?
No names. But all guys that were part of the group, even one of your best friends, they were fucking trying to lead. And the girls, we were like chickens. We were following until it came to plating, when men were wrong, and then the girls tried to raise the voice. And there was one of the girls that started screaming loud and throwing plates to the chef. So automatically, for them, the hierarchy was the one. The boys should be leaving, the girls should be chickens. And we accepted it. We did. Until we realized that it's going in the wrong direction. And then the girls like stood out for themselves. Do you think the boys accepted? They thought we were hysterical. But at the end, it should be a group work. Mm-hmm. But I'm throwing you back a ball. Do you remember, and can you be honest, the reason why you invited me as the first girl ever to cook it raw in Poland? Because I was told it was a political move.
Not in the least. I would put my balls on fire if I give a fuck about the little protest.
La verità.
No, because I saw what you did in Sant'Arcangelo. I saw what you did 1 year before. No, 1 year later when we went to New York. No, it was 1 or 2 years later when we did this fooding 48 hours. And for me, it was not let's promote a female chef. Let's promote a chef who happens to be in Slovenia, where I knew nothing about Slovenian food, and I thought that could be the perfect moment to bring this chef out and see what happens. And she did a fantastic job.
Yeah, of course. I think Marie-Claude goes like this, like, I'm sorry, if you have 1 minute, because she's like...
I want to say one thing about that. One thing about this event in Austria is that after that night, what I noticed very obviously is that all the women were partying like crazy, and all the boys had disappeared together to have dinner somewhere. So that was very bizarre, because it was like, let's go together, let's be on each other on our sides. It was a bit uncomfortable. But the women, we bonded and we had a great time. But what I wanted to say is that I've been a freaking mask. Hello. I've been a feminist my entire life, but what I tell my children is something that I deeply believe in, and I want to say it because I want to include everybody in this discussion, and I think that I don't want like anybody to feel excluded. What I tell them is that the world is not divided between rich and poor. I give them this speech, they're so tired. The world is not divided between rich and poor. It's not north and south, it's not black and white, and it's not men and women. The world is divided between people who care and people who don't care. And I think that there is place on the good side, the caring side, there is room for everyone. Because there are women who don't support women. There are women who supported Trump. Do I need to say more?
No, I totally agree, but something that I would like to add is that representativity matters.
Of course it matters. And people
for next generations
and
to have role models.
Exactly. And people who care are okay with quotas because they understand that it's the only way to get somewhere. Because if we keep waiting for the natural organic processes to keep on going, we're going to be here talking about this in 300 years. It's moving way too slowly. So if you care, you see that we need quotas, we need special help, we need special efforts, and because it's the right thing to do.